Hello and welcome to the Monsters Miss Mayhem podcast. We have our host with the most, Chaotic, and then there's me.
And then there's me. You are the host with the most.
Nah, not really. Well, Chaotic, we are doing Leprechauns,
Yes.
because it's not quite St. Patrick's Day yet as of time of the recording, but when it comes out, it shall be past St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, it will be passed.
So take this information with you till next year in case you want to capture a leprechaun.
Yes.
So, Chaotic, what do you know about leprechauns?
I know the generic at the end of the rainbow. They always have their pots of gold. I know that there's a horror movie made about them. I know that they are very small, generally have red hair, wear lots of green, elf-like ears. In my favorite Disney Channel original movie, they have lots of luck, and if you're half leprechaun, that only happens once a year or something like that. And leprechauns are really short. That's all I got.
Well, you are both correct and a little bit incorrect.
Okay, I can't wait to learn.
Which is technically, yes, you're correct on all those. That's more modern day version of them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more.
Yeah, because you kind of guessed that there is more history to the leprechaun than the standard green suit little person.
Yes.
Well, going back in history of the leprechaun is a fairy from Irish folklore. And how short would you think that the leprechaun is? How small?
Like 3 feet. The ones in the Disney Channel original movies are like 6 inches, but I would put leprechauns at 3 feet myself.
Yeah, I've always known them as the 6-inch variety from school and stuff is how the U.S. school systems taught kids about leprechauns.
Yeah.
But yeah, their average height was about 2 to 3 feet. They were little bearded men, but they did not always wear green. They were more commonly associated with the color red. And over in Ireland, there is a variety of how they are dressed and look like, but usually it is always little men, bearded, red clothing, red pants. At one point, in the earliest history, they wore a bicorn hat.
Okay.
Are you familiar with bicorns?
I think I'm pretty sure I'm picturing the right thing, but I'm probably wrong.
Old-fashioned Navy hats.
Okay.
But it's only 2 instead of a tricorn. They had their shoes with buckles.
Gotta have the buckles.
Yes. They were most commonly known for being cobblers, imagine the word is, where they work on shoes.
Yes, that's the correct word.
Also, sometimes he was known to wear a Elizabethan ruff and frills and laces at his wrist.
Okay, I'm getting the mental image.
And if it was real rainy and stuff, he had a big overcoat they just threw over top of it all. The leprechaun is also, when you find him, is usually cobbling shoes or dancing.
The dancing's a big thing. That's the step, right?
The step?
The stepping that they do where they tap. You know what I'm talking about? There's an actual Irish dancing.
Yeah, like the tap dancing?
Yeah, like the step dancing. Is that what they're known for?
I didn't see anything with that, but I imagine they probably got associated with it because they do love to dance, and that's why you always see them fixing their shoes because they said that they dance so much they got to repair their own shoes.
Oh.
Which might also be why they're so rich, having pots of gold.
That's true.
Because then they also repair other fairies' shoes.
Okay.
Another way I heard that they got their wealth is that they went and found treasure crocks, which were buried during the wartime, and they dug them up and they just claimed them as their own. It's like, oh, someone buried this pot of gold here. It's mine now.
That's, it feels like owner's rights. You find it, it's theirs.
Especially if it was from an old wartime. No one knows it was there. Have you ever, back in like elementary school and such, do you remember the teachers saying they caught a leprechaun?
I do.
Do you know what happens when you catch a leprechaun?
I don't know the specifics.
Well, there's 2 things that really happen. One is that they grant you 3 wishes.
Oh, like a genie?
Yes.
Except for I'm assuming they're not genies.
No, but they are mischievous, so you gotta be careful
Okay.
with your wishes.
Well, that sounds about right.
Continue on with mischievous. They're mischievous little guys. But they are not evil, maleficent, as they are not the type of fairies that kidnap kids.
That should be a good thing, right?
Yeah. There is one story, however, though, as a woman followed a leprechaun into the Fae, and then she came back a couple years later, missing all her toes.
Oh my god, that's terrifying. Did they eat them?
She danced them off.
She danced them off.
Yeah.
Okay. I still hate it.
She was having such a good time that she just danced out of her toes.
I can't say I like that. I don't appreciate that.
That's about the worst of the stories I've seen. Another time, if you do catch a leprechaun, it only carries on its person 1 shilling.
Oh, okay.
And I went down a rabbit hole a little bit on this.
Uh-huh.
Can you guess how many shillings $1 is?
No.
Shillings is no longer really used as a currency. It is the pre-currency, the British pounds and such. But $1 equals 13.909 shillings.
Okay.
They only carry 1 on them. So
Only 1.
Yep.
What if there's an emergency?
It'll have to go back to the end of the rainbow.
That's wild. I mean, it's also smart of them. Like, they can't get it stolen, you know?
There was the story of a man who caught the leprechaun and wanted to know where he buried his treasure.
Uh-huh.
The leprechaun took him to a tree, but the guy did not have a shovel on it. So he made a deal with the leprechaun. He said, I'm going to tie this red ribbon around this tree. You're not allowed to take it off, and then you can go free.
Interesting.
So the guy left the red ribbon on the tree and went back to get a shovel. Can you guess what the leprechaun did?
I don't know. I feel like I should know.
Just give it your best crazy guess.
Killed him.
It always comes back to killing.
It does always come back to murder.
Which would usually be the answer if we were on many other monsters. But what the leprechaun did was he tied a red ribbon to every bush and tree in the forest.
Oh, so he's petty.
Yeah.
He's petty. Got it. Every tree.
Yep, every single tree. So he could not find the original ribbon.
Oh, okay.
And if you do capture Leprechaun, you gotta keep your eye on him.
I would imagine. Sneaky little fucks.
Yeah. If you don't keep your eye on him, he can vanish and disappear.
Vanish. What does he think this is?
Reverse weeping angels.
Reverse weeping angels.
It's like coming at you when you don't look at them. They just disappear, run away.
Just poof.
Yep. Do you know the easiest way to find and capture a leprechaun?
I can't say that I've ever ventured to try and capture one.
Well, the best way to capture a leprechaun is you gotta listen at night, or listen for them.
Listen for them at night?
Or during the day. Didn't really specify, but I imagine at night would probably be the best. As you're sitting in your house or in the street, you'll hear tap, 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 tap of his tiny little cobbleman's hammer fixing shoes. And that is when you can catch them, is when they're fixing shoes.
So you gotta wait. So these motherfuckers run around all goddamn day doing heathenry shit. Then they're like, it sounds nice and cozy right now, making shoes. And then when they are nice and cozy, we're like, it was a good try, but now you're captured.
Yep. You gotta catch them with their shoes off.
Not what I thought you were gonna say, but yeah, totally agree.
What do you think I was gonna say?
Usually the saying is catch them with their pants down.
He's not fixing his pants.
Not now.
He will after you grab him. Should have wore his brown pants.
gotta keep track of the Deadpool pants.
Yeah, definitely. There is often, especially in the US, a misconception about leprechauns as being drunkards.
Oh.
Have you heard of that? Leprechauns drinking a lot?
I mean, this is isn't that the accusation of most Irish anything though? Irish and Scottish anything is, they drink a lot.
Yeah, that's the stereotype.
Yeah, it do be the stereotype for Rizzle.
That's actually the misconception of the leprechaun drinking a lot comes from his cousin or a similar fairy known as the Cluricon, who is loves to drink. It's another old ferryman that loves to drink and get drunk, and he'll stay in your wine cellar of your house and keep your servants from stealing all your wine, but he'll be down there drinking it. But the leprechauns do have a fondness for the Irish poutine, which
Oh.
is like Irish moonshine.
Oh.
They do like it, but not enough really to be known for being
Like
drunk
drunk.
about it.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Do you wish to know how the leprechaun kind of became known with St. Patrick's Day and the color green?
Yeah.
Well, being associated with color green possibly comes from Ireland's national colors.
Oh, that's fair. I would have never even thought of that. And that is very true. That is literally their flag is, yes. All right.
That's kind of all the information I have. I know there's a bunch of like the history of leprechauns in Ireland and such. I know there's a part of Ireland that it has like a nature preserve that you're not allowed to actually harm leprechauns in it.
Oh, okay.
It got passed in the regulation.
Well, that's neat.
Would you like to move on to media?
Yes.
One of the most well-known leprechauns that even I bet you know of is Lucky from the Lucky Charms cereal.
That is a very obvious one for sure.
And they included leprechauns in football teams, sports teams like Notre Dame and the Boston Celtics.
I loved, is it called Luck of the Irish? It's a Disney Channel original movie. It's a good, cute twist on evil versus normal, or evil versus good leprechauns. I've never actually watched the leprechaun horror movies myself, but that's a big one. I don't know. Do you know of any games?
Games with leprechauns in them. There's a Lucky Charms cereal game. Can't think of any like modern day, specifically leprechauns. Even anime I'm drawing blank on this time. I know Disney made a film called The Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Yes.
Not really much media this time. I guess on to Mayhem.
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 Mayhem wise, they're pretty chaotic, but I don't know about mayhem. Where would you put them in the college?
In college, I would probably put the leprechauns as the pranksters. They don't hurt people, but they do prank people. They're pranking kids.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say beat up lunch money, but I'd say put the chalkboard eraser over top of the door for when somebody walks in.
Mm-hmm.
Be those type of pranks.
Yeah, they'd definitely be the pranks. They're like the class clown, kind of, without being joking. It's just the pranks part of it.
And for those younger kids who shouldn't be listening to this, chalkboards are things that used to be in schools.
Correct.
Maybe the prankster that's also in theater for dancing.
Mm-hmm.
As for general mayhem, like you said, there's pretty much nothing, just the annoying pranks.
Agreed.
If you can catch them and get the wishes, that'd be a plus. It's just a matter of, trying to catch them and not be tricked, since they're super intelligent from what I seen.
I don't think they have enough spite in them to be daily chaotic to just normal moments. I'd have to agree. That's where I'd put them. And I just lower on the mayhem meter, but yeah, they definitely have a little bit of chaos inside them.
I don't even really think it'd be worth trying to rob a leprechaun either, because if they only carry shillings, that'd be kind of difficult for us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they would update their money system to carry a dollar bill?
Maybe.
Or a quarter? Or a pound?
I feel like for the sake of everything, I think that they need to continue to carry shillings. I think that's majestic.
I agree. They would keep expanding their wealth because no one wants the shillings besides like coin collectors.
Correct.
Do you think that the only people that would go after the leprechauns then would be coin collectors?
Maybe that would be like their life's mission.
The natural enemy of the leprechaun is the coin collector.
The coin collector.
He doesn't even want the wishes. He just wants the shillings. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the basics of the leprechaun.
Nice.
I know there's a lot more in-depth detail about him, but then you also got to get into fairy lore and the what am I trying to say?
I don't know. What are you trying to say?
The Tuatha De Danann?
Sure.
Yeah, Tuatha De Danann. And that confuses me still.
All right.
Yeah, so I guess we'll wrap it up by thanking our patrons, Mondi, Mage, Ruby, Nuggies, Is there any stream news?
At this moment in time, I cannot think of any. Thinking about hosting another murder mystery party soon. So if you'd like to be part of that, please keep on the lookout on Twitter, both on my account, and I'm sure Silver will share it on podcast account when he sees it.
Yes.
So make sure you watch for that. Oh, and I know that I said it last episode, so you guys had it for Friday, but there is a second episode of In Case of Monsters Break Glass put up on the Patreon. So if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to any of our tiers, and you will get access to the free little story that I'll be doing for our Chronicles of All Our Monsters.
Should be fun. I haven't read it yet since you just put it up a couple hours ago.
It's a much this one's much slower paced because I just wanted it to be very wholesome with the Thunderbird.
Uh-huh.
I didn't figure there'd be any complaining or fighting, but the end is action is the start of the next action. So I'm very excited. It was very exciting to write. You guys will like it.
As for the rest of the podcast news, we're on TikTok. I haven't posted nothing yet, but we're on TikTok for as long as TikTok lasts.
Woo, Lego.
And yeah.
Nice.
Chaotic with the outro.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. Silver and Kaotic take you into the depth of the lore and discuss how these legends could affect modern-day society. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or almost any podcast service easiest to you. Dive into the depths of chaos with us every Wednesday, bar Silver and Kaotic not missing their scheduling, and consider joining the podcast Discord or Twitter following even more insider looks and even some D&D sessions. If you'd like some extra special inside looks or even want to be a guest on the show, consider helping us via Patreon. Your help makes such a big difference to us both. Until next time, Mythics, you never know what kind of mayhem we might get into.